All right, so you've learned some techniques on how to solve linear equations and linear inequalities, and you should know how to do those techniques. But sometimes things are messier than, say, the traditional textbook problems would have. For example, suppose we needed to solve this equation. Now, I would expect everybody to be able to solve this equation by the techniques that have already been discussed, right? Just crank it out, have your calculator handy, and just distribute the 0.549 through, and then combine like terms of everything to one side, blah blah blah. All right, I would expect you to know how to do that. But this part of the course, I want to show you other tools that are available for solving something that's messier than before. Although the concept is the same, right? You all could do this by hand. It wouldn't be very efficient. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is using Desmos. All right, so Desmos.com. All right, remember that calculator from the intro video. All right, so up here is where you type in, whatever you want to graph or whatnot. But we can also type in the equation here, and it will give you the answer. So we just start by doing it. 0.237x plus 0.549 times 15,000 minus 7x equals 2.45x. And it immediately gives you the answer right down there. Everybody see that? It says 1,359.80845, blah, blah, blah. Right? So that was quick. That actually gives you the solution to x pretty fast, and so we can we can write that solution down. Let's do that real quick. All right, so x equals 1,359.8085 would be the rounded solution there, the approximate solution to this particular equation. Right. So so while yes, Desmos can be used to solve those simpler ones that we were looking at before, simpler equations that we were looking at before, it's still important for you to understand the concept of how to solve a linear equation for a particular variable. It's very important to understand that concept. Then when things are messier, for example, it's okay to use the tool. There's nothing wrong with that, but we still need to understand the basic underlying mathematics that's happening. And if you're going on to take a placement exam at one of the other institutions, they're probably going to require you to know how to solve a linear equation by hand, without using Desmos. All right, so now let's do one more. Here's another linear equation, and it's got fractions in it, and we could do it just like we did before by finding the common denominator and multiplying through by the common denominator and wiping out all the fractions and combining like terms and all that stuff, right? I would expect all of us to know how to do that, but let's be honest. To find the LCD between 5.3, 1.7, and 2.9, really all we're going to do is multiply those together to get a common denominator, right? But that's going to be messy. And that's the whole point of this Algebra Plus part, is that not everything is nice and neat. Things get messy. And so we have other tools that will allow us to deal very efficiently with these messy equations. All right, so here we're just going to type it in as we see it. So x divided by 5.3, make sure you come out of the denominator, and then do minus 1.2 divided by 1.7, again come out of the denominator, plus 7.45 equals 1.3 divided by 2.9 minus 3.8 times x, and you get the answer negative 1.5784. Again, Desmos gives that to you pretty fast. Okay, Wolfram Alpha works as well, but I want to show you one other thing with Wolfram Alpha. Okay, so at Wolfram Alpha, we'll type in x divided by 5.3 minus 1.2 divided by 1.7 plus 7.45 equals 1.3 divided by 2.9 minus 3.8x. All right, we'll check it here in a minute to make sure we entered it in correctly. All right, so here we checked the input, x divided by 5.3 minus 1.2. Okay, so it looks like we put it in correctly, and the solution is negative 1.5784. Right? Now, Wolfram Alpha gives you more information. gives you the lines. If you look at the left side of the equation, the left side of the equation is being one line, right side of the equation is being another line. Where these two lines intersect, these would be the two lines, they intersect at that point right there. This would be that x value for where they intersect. Right? And it gives you some other information down there. So Wolfram Alpha will give you, more information than Desmos does, and sometimes you need some of that other information. Right? But if you're just looking to get a value real quick, Wolfram Alpha is not as fast as Desmos, so I might jump to Desmos first. All right, now having said that, I want to do one more problem. All right, let's solve this inequality. All right, so let's pull up Desmos. All right, we'll do it first. So 0.2, and then for pi, you just type pi, and it automatically converts to pi for you, the pi symbol. 2 pi x minus 5x divided by 4.3. All right, for the less than or equal to symbol, type the less than symbol and then the equal sign, and it automatically gives you the less than or equal to symbol. 0.7x divided by 2.1 plus 3.5. And notice it doesn't give you anything. All right, so Desmos is not going to give you the answers to an inequality. It will to the equation, but it will not to the inequality. So we need to go to Wolfram Alpha for this idea. All right, so let's try Wolfram. So in Wolfram, do 0.2 pi x, and it's just going to read it as 2 pi and then x, but it knows that pi means pi, minus 5x divided by 4.3, less than or equal to, so it would look like that. If you're doing greater than or equal to, it would just be the greater sign and then the equal sign. 0.7x divided by 2.1 plus 3.5. Let's see what happens with Wolfram Alpha on the inequality. All right, Wolfram Alpha will give you a solution down here. So x is greater than or equal to negative 4.0332, right? And again, it gives you more information. It talks about the graphs, and we'll talk about how to graph with inequalities later. So right now, we see that Wolfram will solve the inequality for you where Desmos did not. So there can be some limitations to the technology that you're using, and you need to be aware of them, and there needs to be backup plans. Of course, one of those backup plans could just be brute force your way through solving the inequality, because I do expect everybody to be able to solve this inequality without Wolfram Alpha. It would just not be very efficient. All right, so there are some limitations. That was the point of this lesson. So practice using these tools with some messy equations, and that's it. Study well. Please let me know if you have any questions.